Good evening and thanks for joining us on Nationwide today. I'm Elizabeth Omori. We begin with the 66th Ordinary Summit of the ECOWAS. President Bola Tinubu is hosting the 66th Ordinary Session of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, in his capacity as ECOWAS chairman. Declaring the session open, President Tinubu took a moment to congratulate President-elect John Mahama on his election victory and the peaceful conduct of the election in Ghana, citing the need for enhancing the peace agenda in Africa.
While these achievements are commendable, much work remains to be done. But despite the challenges of interrupted democratic governance in some West African countries, the region has continued to record democratic gains. Just a week ago, on the 7th of December 2024, presidential election and parliamentary elections took place in Ghana, which is the second largest democracy in our region.
Key players highlighted part of the agenda of the program, including the report of the mediation mission given to the President of Senegal, President Bassirou Diomaye Faye, to speak with the trio of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. The three nations have accused the regional bloc of abandoning its founding ideals and yielding to external influences, criticizing sanctions imposed to reverse their respective military coups.
To celebrate its 50th anniversary. Through your tremendous achievements, ECOWAS was a model in many ways for our continental ambitions regarding peace, security, and economic integration.
I continue to stress the need for dialogue between all parties concerned in order to find a lasting solution to this challenging situation. I have also urged international partners to urgently address the region's humanitarian, security and development challenges, emphasizing the need for collaboration to meet immediate needs and ensure long-term stability.
11 presidents arrived at the State House Conference Center, Abuja, for the session, which has since entered a closed-door meeting with the ECOWAS chairman, President Bola Tinubu, who assumed the office in June 2023 and was re-elected for a second one-year term in June 2024. Now to education. In a significant step towards tackling challenges of teacher retention and management, the Minister of Education has endorsed the validation of the renewed National Teacher Education Policy. The initiative, supported by UNESCO and founded by the European Union, seeks to address critical issues such as the frequent loss of skilled teachers to more lucrative professions and lack of transparency in teacher recruitment and deployment processes.
Teacher education policy, first developed by the Ministry of Education in 2014, has played a significant role in shaping the education sector. However, recognizing the need to adapt to evolving educational demands and global standards, the ministry initiated a comprehensive review of the policy in 2022.
Teacher policy, if fully implemented, will be a game changer in the narrative of the status of education in Nigeria.
The aim was to provide insights into how the National Teacher Education Policy can be revised to better support teacher education and professional development, work condition, and improve overall educational outcomes in Nigeria.
We know very well that having good leaders in the school makes a very big difference in terms of achieving high learning outcomes.
The revised National Teacher Education Policy is designed to address critical challenges in the education sector, elevate teaching standards, enhance learning outcomes, and ensure a brighter future for students across the country.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, calls on the International Press Institute Nigeria and the Nigerian Union of Journalists to continue promoting ethical and responsible journalism for the betterment of the nation's democracy. In a statement by the Special Advisor Media to the Minister, Rabiu Ibrahim, the Minister commends the International Press Institute Nigeria and the Nigerian Union of Journalists for the smooth and successful conduct of elections for new executive officers, while congratulating Chief Executive Officer of Premium Times, Musikilu Mojid, and Managing Director of Media Trust, Hamid Shekarau, who were re-elected as President and Secretary, as well as the re-election of 4 other officers of IPI Nigeria. The Minister also hailed the peaceful transition of the leadership within the Nigerian Union of Journalists, which led to the emergence of Malam Al-Hassan Yahya as President, making him the first from the Northeast to hold this position. The election of the new leadership of the NUJ, he believes, reflects the evolving dynamics and inclusivity within the union. The government image maker also pledged that the current administration remains fully committed to upholding press freedom. Now let's talk security. The federal government has achieved a major milestone in its campaign against terrorism, including Boko Haram insurgency, IPOB insurrection and banditry, as over 200 terrorists were prosecuted and convicted at the just concluded Phase 6 terrorism trials held at the Kanji detention facility, where 237 cases were entertained. A statement from the Department of Strategic Communications, National Counterterrorism Center, in the Office of the National Security Advisor says the convicted individuals received various sentences ranging from death penalty to life imprisonment and terms of 20 to 70 years, reflecting severity of their crimes. Among those sentenced to death were those convicted of attacks on women, children and religious sites in Borno State. Also, terrorism financiers were sentenced to life imprisonment, underscoring the federal government's resolve to dismantle terrorist networks. The trials, presided over by 5 federal high court judges, were conducted in strict compliance with international standards of justice, marking a critical step in restoring peace and stability in affected regions across the country. 125 convictions were recorded during an earlier terrorism trial that took place in July this year. And the nation is marching towards Armed Forces Remembrance Day, the annual tribute to fallen heroes. A series of activities tagged Tribute to Our Troops has also commenced with a press briefing on what to expect. Defense correspondent Najat Tijani brings us details.
#ThankYouSoldier on social media. Representatives of the defense and service chiefs and convener of the upcoming Tribute to Our Troops event hope it will encourage patriotism and gratitude.
Families, the entire community, and Nigerians are encouraged to come out to support our armed forces and show them the respect they deserve. We have also introduced what we call the TTOT show, an exclusive conversation where civilians and the military communities would engage and discuss on better ways on how to enhance the civil-military relationship.
We are confident that this 3rd edition of Tribute to Our Troops will inspire a deeper sense of national pride and solidarity among Nigerians.
A nation's gratitude is the theme of a series of activities aimed at paying tribute to fallen heroes, appreciating serving and retired soldiers. But just how grateful are Nigerians?
I was harassed by a KK guy, and the military man came to my aid immediately. So I'm super grateful that the forces are really doing a good job.
I respect them a lot, and most times when I see them on the streets, I don't just pass. I get to greet.
This is the frontline spirit the organizers are mobilizing. At the Ikeja Cantonment, Lagos, Tribute to Our Troops is expected to culminate in Abuja on January 15, Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Lieutenant Shamfae Megari has made history as the first female pilot in the Nigerian Navy since its inception in 1964. Defense correspondent Najat Tijani reports that the Navy pilot's journey began in 2016 when she graduated from the Nigerian Defense Academy and was commissioned as a sub-lieutenant, later serving aboard the Nigerian Navy ship Unity. Commanding Lieutenant Megari in presenting an award to her and other recipients at the just concluded ceremonial sunset in Port Harcourt, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, said her achievements came as no surprise. The lieutenant graduated in 2016 as the best graduating cadet in academics, earned the Gold Medal Naval Award, and in 2019 completed a sub-lieutenant technical course as the overall best student. To drug interception, a multi-billion naira worth shipment of methamphetamine, loud and strong synthetic strain of cannabis concealed in automobile parts imported from Canada, intercepted by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. The agency says the consignments were intercepted at the Tinkan Seaport in Lagos after months of intelligence and tracking of the cargoes across 3 continents meant for distribution. Not less than 5.001 kilograms of methamphetamine hidden in a bag in Toyota Camry car was recovered. A businessman linked with the consignment was promptly arrested in what is said to be the largest catch in the history of NDLEA's anti-narcotic operations. Similarly, at the Port Harcourt complex in Rivers State, not fewer than 636,000 bottles of codeine-based syrup worth more than 4 billion naira were intercepted in shipments from India. The seizures were made during joint examination of 4 containers by NDLEA officers, men of customs and other security agencies at the ports. And for more reports on Nationwide this evening, let's head to Lagos, where Adeola is standing by. Adeola, over to you. Then let's head to Lagos.
To see you. To effectively combat the myriad of security challenges in the country, there is need to enhance coordination among law enforcement agencies. This was emphasized at a seminar on interagency collaboration and coordination and alternative dispute resolution for heads of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, in Lagos. Our Yusuf Jibo reports.
Tackling security challenges facing Nigeria requires strategic interagency cooperation. Experts are emphasizing this as they believe it will strengthen national security efforts. This seminar, organized by the NSCDC, is a gathering of top officials and experts from various security agencies. They are exploring ways of improving collaboration, communication, and efficiency in responding to security challenges. Commandant General of NSCDC, who was represented, says all hands are on deck to ensure a safe environment for all.
For civil defense across the Federation, they were all brought to Lagos for this exercise. They were all selected from all the states of the Federation, particularly those who have the responsibility for the areas of conflict resolution, because after this training, they will still go back and train others too.
Key discussions focused on alternative dispute resolution methods, which experts say could play a vital role in mitigating conflicts both within agencies and in the communities they serve.
We always, in a collaborative manner, look for a way how we can support what is really, really needed. And with the NSCDC, this has been going very well because the NSCDC has a clear understanding of what they need.
The seminar concluded with a renewed commitment to fostering stronger synergy between security agencies. In Lagos, Awol Yusuf Jibo, NTA News.
Domestic violence has been in existence for decades. Over the years, however, there have been cases on loss of lives. Diana Jali examines the plight of women in toxic relationships and ways of nipping the ugly trend in the bud.
The time I was pregnant, I was sleeping at feet at Saboka Jifi. One woman now helped me and I stay with that in our bond.
Are you married?
No.
Who is the father of the baby?
The father don't win.
Unimaginable story of 21-year-old Fatima Ahmed, who is not just an orphan, but a victim of sexual abuse and a single mother of a month-old baby. Like Fatima, Faith Ubona is a victim of rape. Despite being raped multiple times, she now stands tall in the fight against sexual abuse and domestic violence against women and girls.
I grew up under a very strict father. I was skeptical of what would happen the next minute while I was under my father. And he felt like, okay, she's a girl child, and then not knowing that the problem he was trying to save me from outside was actually happening inside his home, under his roof.
Statistics by Nigeria Database on Domestic Violence Against Women shows that 1 out of 3 women are affected. For concerned persons, more awareness campaigns and women empowerment, beginning from the unreached population, will serve as a vital tool in reducing the trauma.
Domestic abuse, physical abuse, psychological abuse should not be normalized. There are no normal tendencies, because if we keeping quiet, the children will normalize it and will have generational trauma.
The only advice I will give is, if you know that thing that will make you to abuse your wife, to beat your wife, you should try your possible best as a man to just avoid it.
The need to change the narrative on domestic violence is inevitable and requires the attention of all and sundry. Respondents say government and civil society organizations should redouble efforts to create more awareness and assistance for victims to pursue justice. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
And those are the reports from Lagos. Nationwide will continue in Enugu with Chika after this break.
This year draws to a close. We would like to express our sincere gratitude for your continued support.
Join the cleaner energy revolution. Choose LPG for cooking and CNG for your vehicles. Clean energy for brighter future. This message is brought to you by the Office of the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, supported by the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA.
And welcome to Enugu Network Center. To stimulate sustainable economic growth in the southeast and beyond, opinion leaders have put forward sure pathways to bolster investment in the key areas of micro, small and medium enterprises, agriculture and infrastructure, among others. This is the position of stakeholders during the Southeast Business Investment Summit in Enugu State. Participants are drawn from different sectors, including government officials. Recounting the vibrant economic nature of the Southeast prior to the Civil War, speakers at the maiden edition of the summit are optimistic that robust and effective collaboration with government, global community, and reawakening of the entrepreneurial spirit of the people would help right the wrongs of underdevelopment in the region. Kenyan High Commissioner to Nigeria, Isaac Parashina, joined the gathering online.
We are blessed with abundant natural resources, a vibrant and smart workforce, and ingenious innovators and inventors, and resilient entrepreneurs.
Trying to launch what we call the $1 billion investment portfolio over the next 5 years, so that through that kind of system, we can support and attract partnership and investment into the Southeast.
I commend the commitment by both governments to strengthen economic relations and the ongoing efforts to address existing challenges and increasing trade volumes and investment between Kenya and Nigeria.
While the theme of the summit is remaking the Southeast as economic powerhouse, conversations being light on stimulating micro, small and medium enterprises, agriculture, security and infrastructure to bolster economic growth, attract investments and promote sustainable development in the region and beyond.
The youth will going to key in very well because the job creation is number one. We want business establishment in the Southeast.
Igwe Nnemeka Achebe led other participants to inspect the exhibition pavilion where different indigenously sourced items
capable of creating massive employment, alleviate poverty, and reduce youth restiveness, if properly harnessed, were displayed in Enugu.
The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has identified human error, ignorance, and willful acts as the main causes of fire incidents in the country. This came to the fore at the training of emergency management vanguards and public awareness campaign organized by the Southeast Zone of NEMA in Enugu. Chimaroke Ugu has details.
Statistics shows that about 312 fire incidents were recorded in different parts of Enugu last year, destroying goods and properties worth millions of naira. Reasons National Emergency Management Agency is committed to raising awareness and promoting fire safety measures to reduce the frequency and impact of these incidences. Stakeholders and fire experts at the workshop maintain that everyone is an emergency manager, hence the need to be acquainted with the prerequisite skills on combating fire disaster in cases of emergency.
So before fire could occur, these three elements must come together at the saturated point, then you can ignite fire.
So when one has something like bomb, this bomb comes as a result of heat.
In this kind of season, there are tendency of a fire outbreak. But with this very sensitization, I think that the people within the rural and the urban area will know the importance of them managing their home appliances.
Participants agreed to work together to ensure that incidents of fire outbreak is reduced to the barest minimum in the Harmattan season and beyond. NTA News.
That's a contribution from here. Now let's join Elizabeth in Abuja for the continuation of the news.
Thank you, Chika. A new generation of gospel artists on the block of music to propagate messages of salvation, hope, and push boundaries for a thriving entertainment industry. Their talents were discovered at the maiden edition of the Abuja Talent Hunt put together by the Olive Tree Parish of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Guzape, Abuja. The platform is not just to discover and nurture new talents in gospel entertainment, but to bring the dream of late favor to reality. These budding entertainers are poised to take the gospel music scene by storm, using their unique expressions of art. They shall feature diverse range of performances, including dance, spoken words, and renditions.
I believe that when I share my gift with the world, I will definitely have opportunity to stand before kings.
There are voices out there who are really gifted, like people out there who are really gifted, and they need to, showcase the glory of God.
Winners were selected based on their creativity, skills, and delivery.
We are looking at diction. Your diction should be correct. Your lyrics should be correct.
My encouragement to them is that they should continue to make use of their gift, and it will take them places.
We have some managers, some production companies that, for those who are singing, that will help them to have a brand name and develop them, create platforms, more platforms for them to be able to express this talent.
The emergence of these artists is a testament to the growing influence of gospel entertainment.
My thoughts are their praise. I try to envy them, they return with more.
Elizabeth. To other stories, as legislators work to amend the Child Rights Act 2003 to ensure no girl is left behind, the girl child has been advised to recognize the double-edged sword of cyberspace. Member House of Representatives Kafila Agbara gave the advice at the National Conference for Nigeria on Teen Girls Crime-Free Society held in Abuja. Deborah Balagbobo reports that the conference was at the instance of Princess Anita Teens Development Initiative.
That the cyberspace has its merits and demerits. It is a two-edged sword which at one hand offers endless possibilities for learning, creativity, and connection, but it also presents such risks as cyberbullying, online predators, and inappropriate contents. Organizers say the focus of the conference is to give the Nigerian teens hope for a brighter future and a better understanding on how to handle the cyberspace.
It's early to talk to these girls. Early. I think you can get there. You don't expect an adult like me to begin to talk to an adult. You can't get it. You know, that's why my slogan is, we must get it right.
We gave them some tips of how they can improve their productivity, and we encourage them to be self-motivated, self-reliant, industrious, and productive in all their endeavors.
Member House of Representatives, Kosofe Federal Constituency, Lagos, Kafilat Ogbara, while noting the numerous benefits of the cyberspace and its dangers, added that the amendment of the Child Rights Act is a work in progress.
That the interests of a child should be paramount in anything that we do as a nation. So that already protects our children. But there are a lot of amendments that we want to do in terms of violators of such rights. So it's still on the table and we are on it.
I just hope that the government and every sector of the economy will support.
An 82-book titled Teens Character Molding was also launched to further buttress the need for young adults and the present generation to fight the world of crime to the barest minimum. In Abuja, Deborah Balagubo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, after more than 48 hours of deliberations, federal government outlined its strategic priorities for Nigerian youths in 2025, which seek to empower and transform the nation's young population with specific focus on access to capital, job creation and skills for experts. Olayin Kauja reports that this was the focal point at the end of the 7th National Council on Youth Development in Maiduguri.
With more than 60% of its population under the age of 25, the country is blessed with one of the world's most dynamic and promising youth demographics.
This youthful population can be a driving force for sustainable development, peace, and economic prosperity if adequately empowered and supported.
And since investing in the holistic development of young people is essential for economic growth, the Minister of Youth Development, Ayodele Olawande, and Borno State Governor reiterate government's commitment to provide access to quality education, relevant skills training, healthcare, and economic opportunities that will continue to create safe spaces for young people to explore their potentials. This will in turn translate into transforming and repositioning Nigerian youth and make them catalysts for economic growth.
A collective approach that will empower the youth to drive and focus on creating the legacy that we want Nigerian youth to build.
Together we can cultivate an environment where creativity thrives, ideas flourish, and dreams become a reality.
For the Commissioners of Youth Development, the task before them are youth empowerment, skills development, entrepreneurship support, and increased youth involvement in decision-making processes.
Accountability, transparency, which is what we are demonstrating here. We will address 72 key memos that have been put on the table by various stakeholders. We need to always address the issues of youth by understanding three things: their thoughts, behavior, and actions. Most of the policies that are going to put in place are those that will make Nigerian youth employable.
The last National Council meeting on youth development was held 5 years ago. Olayin Kauja, NTA News.
And Asmao in Sokoto has the next set of reports.
Beth, good evening and welcome to Sokoto on Nationwide. Stakeholders in Sokoto State have come together to demand robust security measures to protect critical national assets and infrastructure, driving home the urgent need for national development. This landmark initiative, spearheaded by the National Orientation Agency (NOA), is part of a nationwide campaign to galvanize support to government policies and programs by promoting awareness, ethical values, and unity among citizens. Dalhatu Abdullahi takes it from here.
Participants from diverse backgrounds gathered at this town hall meeting organized by the National Orientation Agency, NOAA, showcasing a unified concern for the government to provide state-of-the-art equipment to security agencies to tackle insecurity in the country. This support is crucial for safeguarding critical national assets, infrastructure, and ultimately ensure peace as well as enhance the revenue drive of the country. The Director General National Orientation Agency represented says the town hall meeting is aimed at bringing stakeholders together to contribute to the campaign on 5 key national issues that include clear understanding of the new tax reforms and HIV/AIDS. He cautioned the youth against the get-rich-quick syndrome, urging them to adopt legal means of acquiring wealth.
The bill is spelled out clearly, just as the misinformation is going, that is going to be Lagos will benefit more than the North. It's not true.
State Director Noah Babangida Kurufi commended participants for their meaningful inputs.
We ran a campaign on early warning signals. We appeal to people, if you see a sign of a particular event to happen, call the appropriate authority so that not to lead to escalation of that thing.
The National Orientation Agency had earlier staged a roadwork to educate Nigerians on federal government policies, especially the tax reform currently under consideration at the National Assembly, saying the move aims to promote even growth across all sectors of the economy for sustainable development of Nigeria. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Towards rising public awareness on the menace of fire outbreak associated with the Harmattan season, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has taken its sensitization campaign to Rugawaru, a remote village in the outskirts of Sokoto, the Sokoto state capital. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa reports that the initiative is a collaborative effort between NEMA and National Youth Service Corps.
The campaign is part of NEMA's efforts to promote disaster risk reduction and management in Nigeria by educating the publics on the hazards associated with the Harmattan season and measures to mitigate these incidences towards promoting the culture of safety and resilience in communities.
My message to the general public is for them to adhere to all these warnings given to them by the experts during the sensitization campaign so that they can prevent these fire outbreaks from occurring.
Begun with the training of core members on methodologies of assisting and providing first aid for disaster victims, a knowledge they are expected to impart to people at the grassroots.
The main important aims of being coming here is to enlighten people about how sometimes of fire outbreaks, so that how they can take control to manage them in times of accidents.
Create awareness so that they will know the hazard of fire outbreak and they'll know the control measures.
After undergoing the training, the sensitization campaign team moved to Rugawar community behind Umaru Ali Shinkapi Polytechnic Sokoto, where residents were educated on potential dangers that come with the Harmattan period, among which are respiratory tract complications, fire outbreaks, and road accidents, among others. The residents lauded NEMA for bringing the awareness-raising efforts to their community, describing it as timely. The overall objective of the program is to minimize the hazard that characterize the Harmattan season to ensure protection of lives and property of the people. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
And that's it from Sokoto. We'll take a short break, and when we return, Nationwide continues with Kemi in Ibadan.
From the Atlantic across the savannah to the Sahara, we rise, a land of the free, we know they tire. We dream great, our spirit is undying.
Thanks for staying with us, and hopefully we will be joining Ibadan Network Center in the course of the bulletin. But let's move on. Chairman Nigerian Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Abike Dabiri Erwa, says more investments should be targeted at capacity building to grow a bolstering Nigerian economy and promote brain circulation. The NIDCOM chairman stated this at a strategic meeting with the Secretary, California State Transportation Agency, Dr. Toks Omishaki in Abuja. Deborah Balagbogbo reports.
The latest edition of the CalSTARS project, Secretary, California State Transport Agency, Dr. Toks Omishaki, says the visit is to show commitment on investing in sectors such as technology, energy, and green jobs.
And so we want to explore partnership opportunities where businesses in America will come to Nigeria and invest more, and also vice versa.
So one of the ideas as we explore this partnership is masters or graduate students from Nigerian universities should be able to come, spend some time as exchange programs in the University of California system or other universities in the state of California, and then take advantage of our industry partnerships, spend some time there, get that training, but then come back here and then help build the ecosystem in Nigeria.
The NIDCOM boss highlights the need for training programs to equip Nigerians with technical know-how necessary to improve efficiency and productivity in the transportation sector.
So we look forward to this partnership, and through you, as a very successful Nigerian in the diaspora, there's so much connectivity that we can have with California through your office.
The California State Transportation Agency is a state cabinet-level agency that develops and coordinates transportation policies and programs for California to ensure safe, sustainable, convenient, and affordable transportation for its citizens. In Abuja, Deborah Balagbogbo, NTA News.
To livestock development, the Fulani ethnic group is mobilizing its members across the country to leverage investment opportunities in the value chain of livestock development as federal government rolls out reforms in the sector. This was re-echoed in Karo local government area of Nasarawa State, where former national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, joined them to commend President Bola Tinubu for renewing hope of herders and farmers in the country. Aliu Tijani reports.
From various parts of the country and beyond, it shows Fulani converge on Tudunwada, Karo local government area of Nasarawa State, to discuss prospects in the livestock sector and how they will partner with the new Ministry of Livestock Development as federal government works out reforms for herders to adopt ranching and explore opportunities in livestock value chain for wealth and job creation. Former national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu represented, urged Fulani to coexist peacefully with other ethnic groups and support government initiatives in order to reap maximum benefits of the reforms in the livestock sector.
Creating this ministry is an advantage for us to educate our nomads concerning crisis in Nigeria is something that is unlawful.
The creation by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the new Ministry for Cattle Affairs is going to work interwoven, hand in hand, towards providing stability in terms of meatry, stability in ginnery, stability in terms of cow rearing, as well as it will also solve the farmer-herder clashes.
With rich culture on display, the gathering is another platform to foster unity among the Fulani ethnic group. From Karo, Aliu Tijani, NTA News.
The National Emergency Management Agency is strengthening measures against the occurrence of fire outbreaks across the country, often heightened during the Harmattan season. This is with the inauguration of emergency management volunteers expected to educate communities, identify risks, and respond promptly to emergencies. Mercy Fabi reports.
Has faced significant fire outbreaks during Harmattan, especially in densely populated urban areas and markets, often leading to avoidable devastating loss of lives, property and livelihoods. This inauguration and sensitization of emergency management volunteers, organized by the National Emergency Management Agency, MENA Operations Office, was therefore to train and sensitize the volunteers to reverse the trend and serve as agents of change.
The key objectives of the training and sensitization is to, among other reasons, enhance awareness, build a culture of preparedness, promote community collaboration, as well as strengthen prevention.
We taught a lot of things, disaster management, and how to prevent fire.
When there is a fire outbreak in the school or somewhere that I'm present there, I can do some practical shows here.
NEMA, in collaboration with other disaster risk management organizations, is driving the fire prevention and management crusade. In Minna, Messi, Fabi, NTA News.
To other stories, one of the notable aspects of the federal government's Civil Service Strategy and Implementation Plan 2021 to 2025 is the introduction of motivation for efficient service delivery by public sector, ministries, departments and agencies, having witnessed outstanding performances and remarkable feats by the Federal Ministry of Justice and its agencies. It decided to recognize the contributions of staff following the ongoing legal reforms in the country.
And celebrating outstanding performance among our staff, we aim to foster a work environment which embodies efficiency, professionalism, integrity.
It encourages hard work and efficiency for improved service delivery from its sector. Other staff of the justice sector should also emulate and try to be even better than the current awardees.
Now let's head to Ibadan, where Kemi is standing by with some reports. Hello, Kemi.
Hello, Elizabeth, and a warm welcome to Ibadan. Artificial insemination is one of the best ways to ensure growth in livestock production to promote food security in the country. This resonated at the 2-week on-farm practical artificial insemination training held in Ibadan, Oyo State. Lukman Hassan tells us more.
Organized by the Nigerian Institute of Animal Science, the training is to unlock livestock potentials using artificial insemination. It is believed that artificial insemination, if adopted by Nigeria, will go a long way in improving reproduction technique in livestock, increase milk, meat, and reduce diseases among livestock, as well as make Nigeria self-dependent in livestock needs.
This technology eliminates the need to transport live animals for breeding, reducing stress on the animals and minimizing the spread of diseases.
Proper orientation and advocacy should be carried out for suitable ARTs to increase their acceptability by farmers. We advocate for robust livestock extension service in the country.
Our hope is that we can have this kind of training on yearly or if not half-yearly basis.
Participants of the 2-week training who demonstrated what they have learned note that the government needs to collaborate with the private sector to see that more artificial inseminators are trained nationwide.
The previous training by the instructors and the CEO, in fact, I was able to go in to train the service.
Training has made it easy because of the numbers of trainers we have. If we keep going on like this, in years down the line, there will be so many people that can actually perform the task.
High point of the artificial insemination training was the presentation of certificates and startup kits to the trainees. In Ibadan, Lukman Hassan, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, has charged the Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria, CRIN, to harness the transformative power of technology to improve on its research findings. He stated these in Ibadan at the 60th anniversary of the institute. Kende Omolosho reports that tree crop research for sustainable Nigerian economy was the theme for the celebration.
The adoption of technology in research, according to the Minister of Agriculture, will boost the country's industrialization, thereby creating jobs. Represented by the Zonal Director of Agric, Southwest, the Minister lauded Queen for its contributions to the nation's gross domestic product since its inception.
They have done a lot in improving on our old stock and enlightening the farmers on best management practices.
Executive Director Queen stressed that value addition to cocoa over the years has created new products for export and local consumption.
We have processed cocoa beans into various products such as chocolate, cocoa butter, cocoa powder, cocoa wine, cocoa bread, cocoa custard.
Everybody in this country to go into agriculture because that's the only thing we can do to sustain us.
In his lecture titled 3 Crops Research for Development, Key to Nigeria's Economic Diversification and Sustainability, Vice Chancellor, Osun State University, identified outdated farming practices, climate change, and limited access to market as challenges to the production of cocoa in the country, with the mandate to conduct research to aid production of disease-free and resistant cocoa. The Cocoa Research Institute, due to its achievement, has diversified into researches for cola, cashew, coffee, and tea.
Cocoa, tea, and kola nuts are valuable crops with significant economic benefits, including export revenue generation, employment generation, and contribution to rural development and local economics. Kehinde Omolosho, NTA News.
Thank you, Kehinde, and that's it from Ibadan. It's back to Elizabeth in Abuja for the rest of Nationwide.
Thank you so much, Kemi, and this is where we end Nationwide this evening. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Good evening.